In the summer between 3rd and 4th grade, my mom decided to transfer my brother and I to a new elementary school. It had one of those Spanish immersion programs, and I think my mom liked the idea of my brother, who'd be going into 1st grade, of him becoming fluent in Spanish. He ended up studying French in high school, so much for that. But I took it really hard because while my brother had only spent a year at our current school, I've been there for 4. All my best friends attended. I was academically successful. I was popular. The girls gossiped about me. I'd grown accustomed to being known and liked, and I was about to leave all that and go to a place where that wasn't true, where I'd have to play that necessary game of earning your credibility, trying to find a way to belong, which terrified me. This new elementary school also had a flourishing arts program, one that it took really seriously. And in the second week of 4th grade, the entire 4th grade class were informed that all of us, each of us, would be performing a musical about Virginia and its colonization. I guess as a way to learn about Virginia and its colonization. And the staff had built our schedules in a way where we could rehearse every day for like 2 hours around our required classes. So we were prepared to perform this thing in December. And they held auditions for this in the 3rd week of school, and you auditioned in front of the entire 4th grade class. And so the director gathered 100 or so of us into this large room, handed each of us packets with the audition lines for every character on it. And if you wanted to audition, once that name was called, you'd stand up in front of everyone, perform the line, and once everyone who wanted to audition went, the director would make a note, I guess, saying who got the part, and then move on. We got through about 8 roles when the director called Sir Walter Raleigh. Now, if you don't know who that is, Google it after this, but basically he had a thing with Queen Elizabeth and got his head chopped off because of it at the end. Once that name was called, the director said, "This is the lead beside Queen Elizabeth." Nobody stood up. Now, I don't know what happened next. I think I blacked out. But 1 second, I was sitting down, and the next second, I was standing up, the only one standing up with my audition packet. I think my body knew before my mind did that this is something I should do. The director nodded to me to go for it. And just for context, the line was something to the effect of like, "Good evening, Queen Elizabeth. The moonlight shines brightly upon your bosom." It's like, they had a thing, remember. This play was also borderline inappropriate. It was kind of weird. But I channeled all of the suave, James Bond, George Clooney energy within me, tastefully read the line. And I knew I nailed it because as soon as I finished, the entire room erupted with, "Ooh!" Right? And I got the part. I mean, I better got the part. I was the only one who fucking auditioned for it. Getting the part was one thing. I knew I had to look the part too. Because the way you look is your credibility, right, in school. And that was not my strong suit. I wore the same gray sweatpants and oversized t-shirt to school every day. Lucky for me, my mom used to be a costume maker for an opera company. And so when I told her I got this part, without hesitation, she offered to make this thing for me. And y'all, this costume is still in my childhood bedroom closet. My mom went all out. She made one of those like white ruffled Elizabethan collar thingies. Those like puffy black Renaissance shorts that exposed like 97% of my legs, which she insisted I cover in black tights for continuity. I obliged for the sake of the art. She made me one of those gold patterned brocade vests, but the cherry on top, the piece de resistance of this costume was this cape. She made me a motherfucking velvet cape with gold and silver silk lining that went across the front of my body. Very historically accurate. Take a look. But, looking back, I think my mom also recognized what was at stake for me, that this costume was a lot more than a costume. It was potentially a vehicle for me to confidently introduce myself to this school, insulated, empowered in a way by this guise of Sir Walter Raleigh. So opening night of our play, all the 4th graders lined the hall, leading into the auditorium, getting changed into their own outfits. I decided to show up in mine, fully dressed. And as soon as I opened the double doors, all eyes locked on me. And for the next minute, I just strut my shit, walking down that hallway, every few seconds bowing to my fellow classmates like I thought Sir Walter Raleigh might in all his douchey confidence. But what I received back from my classmates were looks, nods, sometimes smiles, that communicated something to me that felt like acceptance, or maybe just some mad respect for wearing black tights. And so I knew by the time I got to the end of that hall, before I even got onto that stage and sang wildly out of tune duets with Queen Elizabeth, that this new school thing be just fine. Thanks.